Hey, this is William with AttackOfTheFanboy.com. I'm here with Kyle Hansen, and this is Guitar Hero Live. Did you know that we've got new rhythm games coming out this year, Kyle?
I did.
Are you excited?
Two of them.
Yeah, we do have two.
Yeah, I am actually excited. I wouldn't say that I've been looking forward to them coming back, but I've missed them now that they are.
This is true. Now, I just got back from an event where we got a chance to look at Guitar Hero a little more closely. We all took a look at Rock Band while we were at E3, and that was
Rock Band and Guitar Hero.
Yeah, we saw both games, but we didn't really get a chance to play Guitar Hero as much as we wanted to, at least as much as I wanted to. And Rock Band's pretty much the same thing, pretty much, as before.
Yeah, I mean it's essentially the same game.
Yeah,
they're just back.
But I think Guitar Hero Live is changed the most, and I got a chance to sit down and play it for about 3 hours of solidly just getting my ass handed to me in trying to kind of wrap my head around this new system. There's a new developer on the game. It's Freestyle Games. These are the guys and gals behind DJ Hero and DJ Hero 2. But the game has kind of changed not only in the way that they've made a new controller for it and the button structure is completely different, but they are also adding in some new like music video sort of functionality as well. And they briefly kind of went over that with us at E3, and I don't know if you got the same impression that I did while we were at E3 because it was so brief, but there was so much going on. It was kind of hard to wait, what exactly is this?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like they were really going in a very different direction. That made it harder to get what they were doing. Like, there's the live, then there's the GHTV, and then all of that stacked onto the different controller, which you can, see it's these black and white buttons instead of the usual, green, red, and yellow and all of that. So there's a lot going on in Guitar Hero Live.
Yeah, there really is. And you would think with just black and white buttons, it might be easier. It is not. It is much different. It's more puzzling for you to wrap your head around how you need to play these things. It's just it's a different animal than the previous games. But yeah, like you said, there's two different parts to this. One is the live aspect where they're kind of taking, I don't know how familiar, which game did you play? Used to play? Rock Band?
I played them both.
Okay. See, I was a Guitar Hero person, and so it was a cartoon. There was a bunch of different characters for Guitar Hero.
Yep.
And they've done away with all that stuff. So it's Guitar Hero Live. They are trying to put you in the position of being in the band, looking out onto a concert or a small venue, and the crowd reacts to how well or how poorly you're playing the game. So you kind of get that feeling of immersion from that, which I wasn't sure if I liked that to begin with, but
I wasn't a big fan of that of what I saw.
Right, and you know what? I wasn't even really into it until I started playing it, because once you start playing it, it really does make a lot of sense and does give you that immersion because of the feedback that you get, not only visually but audibly from the crowd themselves, and from there's different cut spots in the videos where your bandmates will look over at you and you're like, man, you're fucking this up. So it is kind of. It is interesting. It's just a different way that they've gone. That kind of adds to the realism of it all, actually, which is also enhanced by the new control scheme itself. This really feels more like you're playing a guitar than previous games in the series. There's no doubt about it in my mind. The 6-button structure, having up and down keys for black and white. It just provides way more combinations for the developers to throw at you, and it's really, really intuitive. I spoke with some of the developers there that actually work on designing the highway, and these guys are guitar players, and they've made it so like it feels authentic. It doesn't. It feels as you would as when you were playing a actual guitar. And as you can see, we didn't talk about it while it was rolling at the beginning of this video, but that was one of the guys that I talked to, one of the developers, and you can see him kind of going through one of the expert level
that was
songs, and his
that was
fingers
pretty
are
intense.
moving. Yeah. Maybe I'll cut that back into this, but regardless, I think the changes have been for the better, but for the most part, I just like that the game has changed. These are new challenges. I already know how to play Guitar Hero, and I played a lot of Guitar Hero. I just like the fact that this was a new challenge, and for the 3 hours that I got to play with it, this is actually me playing right here, as you can tell. I'm missing just about everything, because it is, it is the up and down, having to move your hand up and down instead of just across is just different. And it's something you've got to wrap your head around, and then they start crossing things up using 2 at a time. It really has the feel of a fret, so you can play different chords. It's from the thing that I like about these games is sitting down and figuring out the high level stuff. Like the hard songs from Guitar Hero were my most favorite things to sit down and explore.
You said you tackle it more as like a puzzle game than you do an actual like music game, I think is what you told me once.
Yeah, that is exactly right. And that's how I kind of sat down and did this thing at this event. I was like, all right, I want to learn how to do this. My goal by the time I get out of here is to learn how to play on the second to highest skill level. And I did by the time I got out of there, but I wasn't by any means good at it. My brain was just starting to get that point where it clicks. I don't know how advanced you are in these games.
I was here's the thing, and this was what almost sold me on this game, is something that they said. So I played almost exclusively between medium and hard. Mm-hmm. But my problem with Guitar Hero and Rock Band was the orange button. As soon as the orange button came up and I had to move down, I could not, something about it, I just couldn't handle it. I would get some of them, and then I would move my hand wrong, and I'd end up in the wrong place, and it would just screw up my method, and I couldn't do it, and it just made the game not very fun.
You were almost there, Kyle. You were almost there. There's a moment where that
clicks. But
that clicks.
Couldn't do it. It just it wasn't fun anymore. I'm not one where I want to figure it out. It's not a puzzle game for me. I'm just playing it just kind of to have a good time, and that killed that. And what they said when they redesigned this controller with these 3 black and white, I mean, it's 6, but it's 3 on top and 3 on bottom, is so many people said that the same thing that I did. You get that orange button, you have to move down, it takes you out of the game. This doesn't do that. It's those 3 buttons, but it still retains complexity. So that's
I don't know. It retains complexity, all right. It is a hard on the advanced modes. This is something that just challenges you in different ways. Maybe the dexterity aspect of moving your hand along for those old keys might be something that this might be easier for you to grasp. But when they start changing things up and making you use like hitting the bottom left white one and the middle top black one, it starts to get a little bit tricky. And very quickly.
I have an actual question. So looking at it, I mean, the white and black and the up and down, they're so similar. Just looking at it like this, did you get confused with
absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
That's a problem.
No, it's not. But that's that's kind of the thing with the Guitar Hero. It's got that learning curve where if you want to be proficient at this and you want to be good at this, you'll learn how to do that. And I started to get it, but right away when I started playing, my brain was just confused. Thinking about wait, black's on top, white's on bottom. That's easy to remember. Okay, wait, here, where am I on this board? And you start to pick it up, but it's just one of those things you have to get used to doing and playing a few times. And if you can see in the video, some of them are like combined, so it's black and white at the same time. So that means you're holding down 2 of them on one whatever side is called for, or the middle. So it can get pretty complex. I actually had to grab a developer and be like, wait, what does this actually mean that I need? What do I need to do here? And once they kind of explained it, it's just something that you have to get used to. You have to learn how to play this game to be proficient at it. I think it probably has a pretty steep learning curve, and that was one of the things I kind of asked them about. Are you guys worried that this is going to be too difficult for people? Because I played a lot of these games, and I was a little bit nervous that I wasn't going to be able to grasp this. And I certainly didn't have much time to grasp it at this event. It was like 3 hours long, and I kind of was starting to get it at the very, very tail end of it. But because for me, you'll be able to play this. You'll still be able to enjoy it with the 3 buttons, because on the lower levels, it's not very hard. They don't throw any complex combinations at you, kind of like the old games. Like if you use just the 3-button combos in the old Guitar Hero games, that stuff was pretty easy. But it also lacked a lot of challenge. And if you're just you just want to get in, play the songs, have a good time with it, you can still have a good time playing on the lower skill levels. But for someone like me that really wants to dig into trying to get this stuff down on the higher skill levels and get that rewarding sense of accomplishment or whatever, it's going to take some practice, in my opinion.
Gotcha. So is this that we're seeing now the live one?
Yeah,
okay.
This is live, yeah. So
Yeah,
you'll be able to...
I don't know how I feel about that, but the music video ones I love. So that alone, I think, is enough for me, and I think it'll be enough for a lot of people. But the live one may not be one that I go into all that much.
Yeah, it's really going to be dependent on what you enjoy. But yeah, the music video, Guitar Hero TV stuff is something completely separate from Guitar Hero Live. It's 2 different game kind of modes. Actually, the Guitar Hero TV is like, it's not a service because it doesn't cost anything. That was one of the things that I was worried about was, are they going to be charging a subscription for this kind of stuff? And you, Anthony, and myself all asked each other, like, is there going to be like tons of microtransactions in this thing, or what are they building this for? And I talked to some of the guys there, and every single thing in the game is earnable. So you can unlock new highways, new cards for your character, new venues to play, new concert events to unlock, where they have footage from different recordings that different artists do. Like Avenged Sevenfold was at this event. They explained to us that some footage from a recent festival that they did was going to be on in the game, and it doesn't seem as like egregious as what I thought it was going to be, right? I thought it was going to be something totally different. Now, don't get me wrong, they're going to give you the opportunity to buy stuff.
Please give us money, but you don't have to give us money.
But you don't have to.
Yeah.
Just do it if you don't feel like spending the time on. I think it works on a system of plays, where if you have plays, you can continue to just keep going through and playing the Guitar Hero TV stuff. And you earn them from just like a regular XP system in any other type of game, but it's also online, so you can play against other people online, compete for scores. You can also play locally, and there's also a microphone feature in this game where I did not try this out. I do not have a beautiful singing voice, but
I was hoping you had a recording of that.
No, some people do. And there's a note highway or a lyric highway at the top of the screen for vocalists, and the cool thing about that is any USB microphone will work. So there's no extra stuff needed to use that stuff. Yeah. So
yeah, because they're not doing drums or anything. They're not even bass guitar, right?
No.
It's just
I don't think bass guitar either. No, it's just vocals and guitar.
Getting back to the basics, but at the same time changing everything. It's kind of weird.
It is. I don't even want to even start having to think about wrapping my head around other stuff before I get this down. And I will get this down. This is one of those games where I kind of left that preview event with a wanting to play more. I mean, we do a lot, right? Where we're like, we play just a little bit of a game and we're like, I wish I could play a little bit more of this because I'm not too sure. But this was one of those that I was like, okay, I'm back in for rhythm games. which I didn't think I was going to be, because I put away all my stuff. I had a ritualistic burning of my
Your old plastic guitars.
yeah, my old plastic
all
guitars. They are gone. All that
Yeah.
stuff. I had the drums and all that crap. And I'm like, I'm never doing this again. That was fun. Take care.
That was a good 5 years or
Yeah,
so.
I can't do this anymore. But I had a lot of fun with those games in the last generation. Some of the best fun. You could say, like, shooters were very popular last gen, but that stuff was popular as well.
Yeah, and I mean, as much as everyone got kind of burned out on them, I pulled out. I had to find my old trunk and my old plastic instruments and played Rock Band a couple of months ago, and just had a great time.
Yeah.
And then we played it again. I played the new one at E3 and played a little bit of Guitar Hero. And yeah, these music games, as much as we all got burned out, it's because they were so enjoyable, so much
Right.
fun.
You played so much of them.
Yeah.
But they also released a lot of these games.
They did.
I mean, they released a lot of them, and it's like, well, where do you go from there, right? So where does Guitar Hero go from after they've released 6 games in 4 years or whatever? This is like the logical thing, right? Change it up in ways that make it interesting and exciting again. Something that you have to learn. At least for me, not everybody's going to be like that. Not everybody's going to have that same, mentality of I can't wait to learn how to do this again, because that was one of the funnest parts of the original Guitar Heroes for me. Was like, oh wait, this is hard. I'm going to figure this out, and I like music as well, so who doesn't? But so it was pretty cool. But one of the things that was still had me on the fence about Guitar Hero in particular was the festival atmosphere sort of soundtracks that they're going for. There are a lot of good songs in the game, and I don't want this to be taken like in a bad way, but I'm not sure about the complete track list. Like, there's a lot of artists in this game that you wouldn't have seen in other Guitar Hero games, like Carrie Underwood. It's just like,
Yeah, it was pretty. I
Those
guess maybe
games-
rock focused before.
it wasn't
especially
just
classic
rock focused. It was classic rock. It was metal. I mean, you had those. It was all face melting songs. Basically, it was all like Slayer and Leonard Skinner and who. I mean, they had a whole game for Metallica. These are like songs that are just built for this. And a lot of people that loved those games, like I did, loved playing those type of songs, like just crazy guitar songs. And I just don't know from what I've seen if this game's going to have that same sort of feel. Some of the songs I've never even heard, some of the artists I've never even heard of before, and maybe that's just someone with better musical taste than me, has picked the soundtrack for this. I don't know, but those old Guitar Hero games had a lot of classic songs, and this seems to be taking a newer approach, and I just don't understand like why we can't see both of those. Is it a licensing issue? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was going to
why
ask.
they wouldn't just come back.
So you think that you feel like those classic songs are gone, not that they have those and newer stuff and
Well, I mean, they have a massive track list out right now, and I mean, they still have more to announce. The game comes out in a month, but we've been told for months now that this is going to be an evolving sort of thing, but I just don't know that some of that old stuff fits into this game.
Yeah, I gotcha.
In the same ways. Maybe it does. It's probably going to come down to like what can they license and what can they get the rights to put on Guitar Hero TV, so they can do these music videos. And
well, I'm not huge into music, so whenever I did play Guitar Hero, I actually found a lot of songs that I ended up liking. So maybe they'll do it again.
yeah,
Who knows?
that they're definitely tastemakers when it comes to some of that stuff, because even the lesser known songs from the Guitar Hero series, probably got a boost from
Oh yeah.
being in that game, since so many
Definitely.
people were playing it.
Yep.
But I mean, these guys are definitely musicians, musically inclined, and probably know much more about music than I do. It's just that those games had so many good tracks in them, and I just didn't see the same sort of block. Like, there was just so, when I think back Guitar Hero, I think of so many good songs that were in those games, and this, I was kind of scrolling through a lot of them, going, no.
These kids with their music
wait.
today.
I'll try this Fall Out Boy song. No, but it's not. I mean, I didn't grow up with Lynyrd Skynyrd, man. I mean, that's way before my time. But still, I can appreciate it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But they have some good stuff in there. They had some Red Hot Chili Peppers, Judas Priest, Lamb of God, the Black Keys, Soundgarden.
Good stuff.
Pearl Jam. There was a lot of good stuff in there, and I'm really excited to check this game out more. 3 hours really isn't enough to really say like I'm all in on this, but from what I got to play and what I got to experience with the new guitar, I want to see more of it. And I want to continue to dig into it.
I mean, that's as good as they can probably get out of an event like that. So that's pretty good.
I think so. And we'll see that on October 20th. So 1 month away before the plastic.
We're all back in.
We're all back in. And I think that's going to be true. I think everybody's pretty much like, all right, I'll do it.
Yep.
And you'll like it. Because it's fun. Like you said, it's not because it's bad. It's because the stuff is, engaging and fun.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it. Which one I'm gonna prefer, I don't know yet. But we'll see next month.
For my money, Rock Band just feels too familiar, which is okay.
I gotcha.
Which is okay. But
I think that's what I'm looking for, though. So
yeah, you just want the easy way out, and I want the challenge. So I want Guitar Hero.